What's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
Good.
Welcome to Burn the Ship. Burn the Ship's a entrepreneurial podcast that we started in 2020. We love it because it is an entrepreneurial podcast that we want to hear from people and their journey of how they chose what they chose, why they chose what they chose, and then what they go through to get there. You know, whether it be an auto mechanic or a flower shop person or Stingray Branding, which does marketing. I'm going to let you guys explain that a little bit, but welcome, Alan. Welcome, Neil. We appreciate y'all coming.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, but at the same time, you are twins.
Love it.
So, Alan is the CEO, correct?
Yep.
So, tell us a little bit about Stingray, you know, how you started. I know you just moved to Atlanta. Tell us the journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Stingray Branding started 18 years ago. I was a web developer, I guess you would say. I learned how to do web development in my spare time and then went to school for it. And essentially I come from a long line of business owners, and my dad needed a website. So I figured out how to code it myself and did that for him. That led me going to school, launched some ads on Craigslist, landed 30 clients my first year, found out that I was working for about $5 an hour. So McDonald's would have paid me more. But that started a long journey of evolution of just, you know, people needed graphics, so I added that. People needed copies, so I added that. And we kept expanding. And now 18 years later, we're one of the larger agencies of South Carolina. We won 40 awards in the last 5 years. You know, and we love what we do.
Nice.
Passionate.
Well, you got paid for an education. That's what I say. I got paid $5 an hour. Now you got paid to get educated for that first little round, right?
Yep. I had to have a portfolio from somewhere, so
that's it.
That's where it came from.
So most of your business comes from website builds or doing the marketing, ongoing marketing?
Both. So as an agency, we essentially have 5 different verticals that all work in harmony.
Okay.
So we can help any business with getting branded, right? Logos, graphics, that kind of stuff, websites or CRM. And then we have a marketing arm that will take what we've created there or what they have. We'll do SEO, we'll do Google Ads, right? We'll do social media, email marketing, etc.
Mm-hmm. Cool. And do you mostly focus on the Google ads, or do you kind of just spread the love over Facebook ads and all that?
It's based on the industry,
okay,
and what their market, what their budget looks like, and what their market looks like.
Right.
So we really like working with home service or service-based businesses. That's our primary niche for marketing. So
right,
they've got a great recipe that we deploy it over and over again, and it works every time. So
sure.
We follow that recipe with them, whereas if it's a restaurant, their recipe is totally different. Right? Restaurants need to be on social media and need to be seen, lots of reels, lots of good photography.
Mm-hmm.
Service-based businesses need to be found on Google every single time.
That's right. Yeah, I've noticed over my years of website designers, because obviously being in the payments business, we deal with website designers all the time, especially through the e-commerce sites. But that all of them, I think this is normal for every business. They find their vertical. It's like a CPA. Some of them only work with builders, and some of them only work with restaurants. So I found that website designers are no different. They find their vertical of the people that they work with best, and then that's kind of how they build their book of business out.
Yeah, our creative director and our website team is phenomenal. They can really work with any industry. She's highly creative. Whenever it comes to the marketing side, that's where we really kind of vertical it out. It's a different ballgame marketing for a law firm than it is for real estate, than it is for service businesses. So we try to kind of stick to our verticals whenever it comes to the marketing side, but websites and branding we're happy to do for anybody.
For anybody, yeah. How do you guys navigate through all the changes of the algorithms from what we've seen at Lake Point Productions on a monthly or weekly basis?
Well, my girlfriend's highlighted a few times that I'm losing hair in the back, so I'd rather I figure that's probably where it's coming from.
Yeah, that's it.
It's tuning into podcasts. We're on a lot of webinars. We follow a lot of the industry experts and tap into their stuff a lot. And it's honestly, it's just wasting way too much time on the internet to figure out what the next thing is, because it changes every day.
It does.
What's kind of evolved with some of our research is lots of people are now promoting like AI search, and you got to be found in the searches on AI and all that stuff, right? And what is happening is that it's the same factors that have always been there,
right?
But AI pulls their search results from factors that Google did not necessarily prioritize 10 years ago,
right?
That have become more important over the last couple of years, but they're still not the lead thing that Google considers and how they rank. So if your site is properly built to begin with,
Right.
and if you're doing good ongoing SEO, you're likely to perform in both.
Sure.
Right. There's structural data and things of that nature that you have to have for AI to benefit, and then
Right.
you need your keywords and your copy and all that stuff for Google.
Right. And are you from Charleston?
Yes.
Is that where you're born and raised?
Born and raised.
And how long ago did you move up to Atlanta?
Year and a half.
Oh, you've been here for a little bit then. Okay.
Yeah.
What part of town do you live in?
Ackworth?
Oh, you live real local.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
8 minutes.
Perfect. And Neil is a right-hand man to Alan, I'm assuming. So how long have you been working with Stingray?
It's going to be 5 years in April,
Congratulations.
which is crazy. Yeah, I mean,
Your birthday, your work birthday.
yeah, my work's anniversary, as our social team calls it. Yeah, it's been quite an experience. Growing up in New Jersey, spent most of my life in the Northeast. My mom is from the South, so I had some Southern ties. I was always kind of a mixture between my dad's Northern blood and my mom's Southern blood.
Sure.
But then I get to high school, and I just figured that I love to tell stories about people. I'm a big sports fan, so started spreading
Like rumors? Like you tell rumors about people?
No, I do the opposite. I do the opposite of that. Sometimes
You
it's-
make them look better.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
That's a rumor too, though.
Well, sure. Anything's a rumor if you
Good
can't
rumor.
prove it. But
That's it.
yeah, no. So I started just writing about sports articles. That's all I was doing, just because I love sports that much and wanted to tell those stories about the different athletes and the different coaches. And then I get older and mature a little bit. I expand my horizons a bit. I realize I love sports. I'm always going to. I really, really love just learning about people and telling their individual stories. How
Sure.
Alan got to where he is an incredible story.
Yep.
I'm sure how you got to where you are. If this podcast were about you and you were the guest, I'd have learned a lot about you too, because that's what makes us all who we are.
Sure.
It's having to overcome the adversity that we have to overcome to get to where we are.
Sure, shared experiences. Yeah, for sure. I love it. Yeah, and really, when you get down to it, an entrepreneur that they're going to deal with the same things in any vertical. It's employee people are the hardest, right?
Yep.
That's the hardest is getting the right people around you. But 5 years means you're the right person. Tell me 3 things you hate about him.
I don't think
just
I have that list.
Go
I
for it. Go for it. I would
Do
love
I,
to hear
do I have immunity? Do I have immunity?
I don't think so, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, that's what everybody. Hey, we're learning, Alan. We're learning. This is what he hates about you.
You gotta. We actually use a survey system with our staff called Tiny Pulse. It's completely anonymous.
Yeah.
So it sends out a question or a couple of questions every single week that the staff can anonymously score or provide feedback for.
Right.
And we do quarterly performance reviews with our staff. And my performance review is on that system, so they can anonymously rate me, score me, provide feedback, et cetera, and have anonymous conversations. Because with such a close-knit team, they're likely going to be intimidated to be like, hey, you're a complete jerk Monday mornings. But they can actually say that in the system and me not know who it is that said it, and give me feedback to be a better,
Yeah, because we're about the same. We're 10 employees too, so we're about the same with the small staff. We used to do this thing called True Colors. Especially when we had a staff of 30 salespeople that are just lighting their hair on fire, running down Main Street doing sales, right? And the point of this was to get. Well, there was a few points of it. One was to get the bad people to quit, and the good people, or the bad people to recognize that their team looks at them like this and get them better. So whatever happens is a good result. Hey, you're out of the door, or you're about to get better. So what you would do is you would write questions, and it would be like, who dresses the best out of the office? Who dresses the worst in the office? Who's the best salesperson in the office? Who's the worst salesperson in the office? Who's the best sales trainer in the office? Who's the worst sales trainer in the office? Who's got the best attitude? And man, to bring all those anonymous things in and put them down and then read them out to people was fucking soul crushing for people.
I imagine.
It was so soul crushing for people. And then it was, then I had to bring the people in that got number one. Because look, a lot of those people were the same people on top and bottom, as you would realize it's the same people. But it's like, then you got to check their ego and go, hey man, that's what they think of you. Now they think of you like that. You got to keep it up.
Grant Cardone has a great approach where he's like, you should essentially be firing the bottom 20% of your staff every year. The top 20% of your staff, promote them, give them raises, and the middle, 60%, be trying to get to the 20%.
Sure. Yeah. I like Grant Cardone. There's some things that I totally disagree with him about, but
Yeah, he's got some opinions.
He definitely does.
He does. And during COVID, he put videos. I was like, why would you even say that? Whatever. It is what it is. I have a few different philosophies that a lot of people just learn philosophies is give a lot of people breaks and then the loyalty will be there.
Yep.
So there's different different varying opinions. Obviously he's done very well with his career and he's a polarizing character for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he did something really awesome when he was one of the first people that really got out there and was doing VC type stuff, buying up like service industries.
Yeah.
Which and he drove the multiplier up for those small 7-8 truck service industries. The multiplier up a lot. There was a lot of times when people came to him like, "Hey, I'm going to offer you, $10 million for it," and they're like, "Okay, I'll take it." You know what I mean? Because before him, it probably wouldn't have been worth that. Which is good. That's good for the market. It's good for business owners.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? What's the day in the life of Neil?
Yeah, so it really goes back to what I was saying in my first response to you, which is that I love learning about people and learning about what different people need to make them tick, and that's pretty much my job at Stingray. I learn about different people and their backgrounds, and then I go and see what we can do to help them.
You're a salesman though.
So there's a negative connotation with that
I don't
word.
think so, man. I love it.
But depending on certain people.
It's my badge.
Well, if you approach the right person with it, then it can be a good thing. If you approach the wrong person with it, then they can come off as very, very guarded and just shielded, and they're not going to want to talk to you. So I just want to see what I can do to help them. And there's a sales aspect to it, of course. We can sell our website design services. We can sell our social media services. We can sell our Google Ads services, etc. But then there are going to be people that I meet that are not going to need that stuff, and I can say, hey, what's a good client customer job for you that I can connect you with? I've done that more and more in the last 3 or 4 months or so, where I've connected a roofer with a drone photographer, neither of which had any use for our services, but I now have value in their eyes and in their minds, and that makes them more likely to be able to hand us some business as referrals.
For sure. They might use you in a year. They might be a candidate for you in a year or two that you just don't know. But that's the wonderful thing about this podcast is that we maybe only converted 20% of the 800 podcasts, but all the other ones are willing to talk to us whenever now because it's not an invasive sale. It's just like we're in here talking and BSing and learning about each other. And really what you'd say is, I want to help somebody. I want to get to know somebody.
Yep.
Like if I can get to know them personally, then you could take the wall and break it down, and then the sell doesn't even feel like a sell to them or me anymore.
Right. That's why that's why I like to say I'm a networker. I'm a connector. I don't like to say salesman, because if I can connect someone with someone else who does business with them and now they have money from that, that makes them more likely to be able to hand us more sales. Right. And it also just makes me feel better, even beyond just the dollar amount that would come into our account. I feel like I'm producing and helping the society that I live in.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, we should rename salesman to a gainer of knowledge of people and then sign contracts afterwards.
Sure.
I love it.
How's that sound? Can you change? I
can't wait to put that on the business card.
I was gonna say, can you change my title on my business card?
Yeah, can't wait to see that name tag.
So tell me, so I know that you talked about your first kind of, when you started out, Alan, of hey, I was probably making $5 an hour. And that's a normal thing for a young entrepreneur for sure, because you're just learning and but tell me like the first like big like hurdle you had to jump to, really, because there's like this thing where like you are faking it till you make it at first. I'm speaking to myself, not to you, going when I'm like, hey, 2 years later, like I got a real business, it's kind of a real business.
There's a couple of defining moments I could think of back in the day. There's a lady in Charleston that runs another marketing agency, good long time friend of mine. And I remember I would run into her all the time at networking and just be like, hey, kid, how's it going? Because she was probably 10, 15 years older than me at that point.
Okay.
And remember we would bid on a couple of projects back and forth against each other and see who won and stuff. And there's a big shoe company in Charleston, the shoe store company. They had 5 locations, had billboards all over the city. And I went in and I think they responded off a Craigslist ad, and went in and pitched the site. It was the biggest project I had pitched ever before, and I was like, oh man, this is crazy. I don't know if we can win it, and I ended up winning the deal over her, and that's whenever I really started to kind of believe, like, I might know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
And then we built the site. It ranked #1 for years, and I built websites for his other businesses after that.
Right.
That was really kind of the first big conviction that I had that it would succeed. And after that, I landed a number of other multi-location brands that we built sites for that either didn't have them out at the time, or they were just god awful.
Sure.
And that was back in the days where you're coding on Dreamweaver and you've got to like draw the whole site layout out, and I've got to do the math of spacing from edge to edge and top to bottom and build a whole separate mobile. And
Sure.
it was much more complicated to build sites back in that day than it is now.
Yeah. But I mean, and you've forgotten more than I know, that I'll ever know about this. But like, I feel like the new like AI type module builder websites, you can tell, like the Wix and the Shopify.
100%.
Yes.
You can tell
Very easily.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, you could throw it up and get it up there, but you can tell the difference when somebody's using WordPress and really puts time and effort into it compared to. Am I saying that right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could go on a 4-hour rant of how much I hate this industry now.
How many episodes do you have us for?
27.
Yeah.
We'll sign a contract after getting to know each other. So my card.
We use WordPress predominantly for our site building, and we have we do have a drag and drop platform that is it's built for developers to utilize, and there's a complete difference, 100% from top to bottom on your conversion numbers, your traffic, how you rank, all of that stuff. If you are using a well-built, actual developed WordPress,
right,
or the other platform that we use versus a Wix, a Shopify, a Weebly, Squarespace, whatever. And we've actually gotten to the point where a lot of times people will call in or they'll email us and ask, hey, can you work on this on Shopify, or can you do this for me on this?
No.
We just tell them no.
No, I can't.
The learning curve for me to go figure out how you did it and then make changes to it is too high. And then we're not going to sell somebody something that we don't have confidence in, and I have zero confidence in building sites on those platforms.
But the end of the day, though, these sites that you're talking about that you say no to, and I try to explain this to people. For the most part, they're not website builders. What they are is credit card processing companies.
Yep.
That's all they are, because they make most of their money off the percentage of the credit cards of the sales on the thing, because they integrate with it.
They're locking into their ecosystem.
So, I mean, we're talking about they might be, charging you, $20, $30, $40, $50 a month on the ongoing crappy customer service job that they do to put stuff in there, but they're really making 2% on your credit card processing, and you don't have a choice to do that. Yep. And they're charging you 3.5%, but they're making 2%. You know, and that's where they make their money, because that same company is doing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month of credit card product. That's more than $50 a month. So
that's 100%.
So which makes them bad at building sites.
Yep,
because that's not their business.
Yeah, and you've got to understand the psychology of the consumer whenever you're building a site, right?
Sure.
It's one thing to throw up a brochure. Anybody could throw up a little landing page on Shopify and call it a day.
Of course.
It's a whole different ball game to understand where to strategically place your call to actions, how the copy needs to be written, how to use your visual, backgrounds and icons and imagery and all that stuff, right? And I can't say the number of times that people have called us that have run into brand conflicts or licensing issues because they illegally took photos that they didn't know were illegally obtained.
Sure.
Right. So anything that we're doing is developer license. It's, commercially licensed photography if we're using stock photos or things of that nature. You've got to do it right. And the sites that we build last for years.
Right.
and rank typically on page 1 without ongoing support for years.
That's nice.
If you build them correctly, they'll last.
That's right. Yeah, it's just a lot of times because that's what we're doing a lot of that at Lake Point Productions. It's hard to get in contact with their website people. That's been difficult to do.
Yeah.
And it slows down the onboarding process by, could be weeks, because you can't get a hold of them.
We've got a nightmare situation right now where we're taking over a site for a client and having it transferred to us, and it has been. It reminds me of one of the many things I hate about our industry.
It is hell on earth to get this site transferred, but that's
the guy.
again,
It'll take 5 minutes for the guy to give us the 2 things that we need to get in and get the site moved over, taken care of, and it has been a 2-week process to get him to respond to emails.
Yep.
we are passing the 30-day mark, I believe, today, from the point in which we initiated this conversation with the guy.
Oh man,
From
you're
5 minutes
to get a password.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, man. I get it. I totally get it. It's aggravating as all get out, for sure. So you said you're a sports guy. What kind of sports you like? You like baseball, basketball, football? Which one?
Yeah, so, well, I mean, college football, obviously,
Okay.
in the South. Like I said, I
Who's your
actually,
team?
I mean,
Coastal Carolina? Ah, Jesus.
I'm sorry, man. I'm
It's okay.
sorry, but I mean, Gator. Well, so again, it's a family school.
Yeah,
My
gotcha.
mom went to UF. Her father went to UF. There's tons of cousins, aunts, uncles, relatives, etc. Friends went there. I've built connections there. And though I actually did not go to UF, I have made so many great friends and contacts. Among them, our CEO,
Yeah.
because of this school and the
You know Florida guy too?
Yeah, I'm a Gator grad.
Oh, nice, nice.
So yeah, the
You have
relationships.
Tim Tebow tattooed on your lower back?
I do not. I do have. But
How'd you pegged as that?
no, but I do have. I do have a national championship ring.
Did you?
Yep,
Okay.
from a friend on last year's team.
Okay.
So for basketball, but yeah. So I mean, the Gators
Y'all
again.
made a run last year for sure. You're looking good this year too.
Yeah. Well, so yeah. I mean,
Coming to their own finally.
yeah.
That's what you did last year. Same thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
loss to Georgia, the local team here, that actually spurred us on to be great. But yeah, I mean, what I'm getting at with UF is it's taught me so much about life, just the way that sports has. Because playing tennis as a kid, a lot of individuality there, obviously.
Sure.
Unless even if you play doubles, you still have so much responsibility. Which is great because you need to take responsibility in life for things and control your own destiny. And then playing team sports like baseball, basketball, a little football, you learn you still have a lot of responsibilities, but you need everyone else to do theirs or your team's going to fall apart.
For sure.
So all those sports, I would say. I played tennis in college for a small D3 school, and that really taught me.
Where'd you play?
Muhlenberg in
Where's that at?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about start in Philadelphia and go like 45 minutes north, and that's it's Allentown,
Allentown. Got it.
not far from where the office was set in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Okay. Cool. And you're a big football fan too. You're a Florida guy. You guys have struggled here recently.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, it's been a rough few years.
I'm a Tennessee fan, so I get it.
Nice.
I get it. So we struggled for about a decade. So
Yeah,
we finally got a coach in there.
I actually helped start the NIL companies at Florida.
Which one's that called?
Previously Gator Collective, now Florida Victorious. So we did
Okay.
all the marketing to kick those two brands off.
Yeah.
Now UF has brought it. They actually have a class every semester. They created an agency called Two Bits Creative, and that class runs all the marketing for all the athletes and the NIL company and all that stuff. But yeah, for the first 3 years, we were sinking a whole lot of money into kicking that off.
Nice.
Yeah, big
We-
investment.
we did
not a big payoff.
We
but
did
a big
a
investment.
we pitched the University of Tennessee collective. It's called the Spiro Group, and and that was a pretty cool experience. But the whole thing's wild, wild west.
It's insane.
You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some rules set on top of it because it's whatever.
The NCAA missed their mark.
There's some good things.
They
There's some
should have
good things
gotten
about
way
it.
ahead of this.
Well, there's just some good. There's some good things about it. Kids get paid. I think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But it's also going to keep people in college longer
Yeah,
because
maybe even
they're already
returning
getting
from
paid
pro.
and they're not.
Yep. And after 3 years in the pros, Charles
That's
Bediaco,
an insane story, by the way.
It's okay. They still took their L's while they had them.
like 23 points.
Yeah, so that's an insane story. I heard that the other day, so I'm like, yeah. But I've got a solid way to control the portal. You ready?
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
All right. So you can transfer whenever you want to. I don't care. But if you do transfer and you signed your NIL deal with that team that you're on, you can't get paid that next year in NIL at all. You cannot sign a contract at all.
Okay.
And if you do get paid under the table, you are out of college sports altogether.
That's not a bad system.
So
Yeah.
that'll slow down the portal system for sure. Like Nico would have never left Tennessee if that was a rule. Most people wouldn't, because like, I'm getting paid $200,000 or I'm getting paid $500,000 or whatever they're getting paid. They're like, I'm not gonna not get paid next year, so I'm gonna stick it out. That'll slow it down.
It'll slow it
stop
down. There's another theory that I've heard from one of my cousins.
Hit me.
Shout out Jared if you're listening to this. Everyone gets one free one without penalty, punishment, whatever. If you want to transfer a second time, I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what ailing relative or tear drinking excuse that you have. You cannot play for another calendar year. It'll stop it real quick. Now, there'll still be some freshmen leaving after their first year because they didn't get what they promised, whatever.
Sure.
But it'll stop the multi-time transfers, the continual shopping for better options out there, the highest bidders. It'll stop that real quick.
It will, but my way would stop it just as much. And then that person that their mom has cancer, that they want to go, that they don't care if they get paid or not, will go home.
Right.
And that happened with Justin Fields. That one guy wanted to get transferred and play, and his mom had cancer. He wanted to move back. He's like, I don't care about anything else but that. And they wouldn't let him
Tell you about
transfer.
Brock Ford.
I think that's who
Yep.
yeah. And Justin Fields had lawyers, so he got in.
That's
Yeah,
how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the numbers to have for football rosters are insanity, right? I mean, I think with rev share, all rev share did was add to it.
Yep.
It didn't help, right? It just added to it. So I think the roster for a top 5 football or top 5 NIL roster for football this year is $48 million.
Sure. Yeah, no
Right.
doubt.
$40 million for a college team, and you got to think majority of that's going to your
Top 5% of your roster.
your starters and maybe
But but that's not even the coaches' salaries. That's
No.
just players.
that's just players.
Because that you could probably add another 10 to 12 million on top of that for coaches' salaries.
Yeah, I mean,
On average, I'd
rev
think.
share basically made it to where the masses are covered by rev share, and then your top 10% of your talent are covered by all your NIL collectives, all that
boosters.
stuff, your boosters.
Yeah. But you
Which
could tax,
doubles or
you can
triples
luxury
NIL.
tax stuff like that too, like baseball does. Even though I think the NFL has the most perfect system in the world, but you can luxury tax stuff like that. Look, the beautiful thing is if you do that, you luxury tax it, and it goes back to that school, to other programs, then you're allowing another tennis player to play for free and not on a partial scholarship. Most people don't know that only the football teams get full scholarships.
Yeah.
You have to, or the good basketball players do. The girls and guys soccer teams do not. Most of those are not on full scholarships. They're on partial scholarships.
The baseball
They
team,
don't.
even for the University of Florida, which
Almost
is
every
one-
baseball player, there might be 3 players on a 50-person roster that gets full. That's it.
Don't get me started on the Gator baseball situation. There are problems. Leave it at that. But those guys are going to go on to, in some cases, be MLB stars.
Sure.
You have the big 3, so to speak, in the professional world: NFL, NBA, MLB. Maybe you could say hockey is a 4th, but primarily around the country, it's those big 3, and you have only two of those 3 sports that are actually giving all their players scholarships. You have a guy at Florida, Jack Caglione, who doing pretty well for himself right now. He didn't get a full scholarship.
But they can't because they're budgeted that way. That's what I'm saying. Is if there's football pays the sports, they pay the school. You know what
That's
I
your
mean?
moneymaker.
Yeah.
Basketball can
Well-
break even or make a little bit, and usually everything.
And then
else
the
is
school
money.
itself makes money. Just in the
Yeah.
Scholastics, they make money.
Sometimes,
So-
My student loans will be being paid for Florida for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
sometimes baseball programs do, like LSU turns a profit, Arkansas turns a small profit, Florida depends on the year, it's break even, small profit, small loss, but that's a very, very small.
Well, University of Tennessee definitely, the baseball team definitely at least breaks even, but
Yeah, it was interesting. What are you guys doing for a coach? You like the new guy?
I
Ellender.
don't know. I'm,
You took our guy, Drew Allman.
My idea about coaches in general is you leave the people to hire them, let them do their job, and then you leave the coach to do their job. And if they're sharp enough picking the people, then you give them a shot. You know, I don't know how the coach of the Falcons is going to do. He seems like a very sharp guy. He seemed like a very sharp guy when he was at Cleveland, but he was at Cleveland. Nobody wins in Cleveland.
It's funny,
Not even Bill Belichick.
Nobody does.
our 28-3 story feels is such a stinger, but it's like, man, I'd almost give anything to get back to a 28-3 story again at this point. Like, can we just sniff it?
Yeah. There's just got to be some rules set, and I think that as much as I hate Nick Saban, I think that he is trying to put some shot collars on it, and do. It's just there's got to be some rules. That's it.
And then enforce them.
Yeah.
The NCAA had rules, going back very quickly to the Bediako situation. NCAA had rules. They did not let him play. A court of law blocked them from enforcing their own rules.
The NCAA is as corrupt as the World Cup, the FIFA.
Yeah.
They have been proven to be as corrupt as any other organization, or more than any other.
Yeah, I mean, the eligibility waivers are prime example, right? One guy gets it, one guy doesn't. Yeah.
And it's
Same
arbitrary.
situation.
They've been seen to get paid off by people. That's proven.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
So it's it's nasty. I think the NCAA are effectively out of business compared to what they were 15 years ago.
Yeah.
NIL's done that to them, so they're hanging on there like a hair in a biscuit, boy. So anyways, man, I'm really glad you guys came in. Tell us how to get a hold of you guys. Tell us websites, phone numbers, whatever you guys want to say.
Yeah, absolutely. So stingraybranding.com is always the easiest. You can go right on there. My calendar's available. You can book an appointment with me. You can book an appointment with Neil. If you have questions or need help with your marketing, we're happy to answer them. Shoot us an email. We'll actually have a new website, hopefully launching here in a few weeks. It'll encompass Atlanta, our other location in Greenville, and Charleston. So if you go to it now and you see a bunch of stuff about Charleston, know that Atlanta and Greenville are coming.
Well, you're here, so you're already here. The website's not here.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Website's catching up. It's like the plumber's excuse, right? We've got all the clients work we got to get done, so ours has been on the back burner for a while, but it's coming soon.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Burn the ship. See y'all.
Thanks.
That one.